All right, so we were just quickly discussing on, what is our plan with the contribution streams. The path that most of us, at least I have taken before, and of course I'll discuss why I did that. But I've corrected myself in PyTorch as an example. But when you contribute to a module, what you end up doing is you get your PR merged, right? And you forget about all about like whatever the issues can come up in the module or in the code that you touched, right? But the ideal path should be that when you contribute, you should, if you like the experience of contribution, that means if reviewers were, that you learned something new, if you like the pace of the reviews as well, if you like the product, for example, and if you use it. And I was just mentioning it's very important for you to be the user of the product in some way. It's not necessarily that, okay, as an example, if I'm contributing to PyTorch, I'm essentially training models every day, right? Or I'm running inference every day, but it's given like you are an outsider as a contributor and there are maintainers and all, they have some discussions internally. The outsider is a very strong word, but it's the eventual truth. You are an outsider no matter what. You're not involved in all the discussions that maintainers might be having, which is totally fine, which is how it should be. So for you to be able to catch up to all the things that are happening in a library, in a module, in a repository, or in an organization for that matter, it's very important that you are the user of it as well in some way or other, right? So if you like this experience, continue contributions, but also start reviewing code, right? And especially for this, possibly like for this whole era where AI code is coming up a lot, I think reviewers bandwidth and real reviewers, right? Like it's not necessarily just responding with emojis and all is enough, but looking at the code, whether something will break, is it good to push, and all of those things is always going to help the maintainers to push things faster. So continue your contributions, but also start reviewing code. Look at issues, right? Subscribe to some labels, for example, that you think in a repository are interesting to you. Um, start reading release notes. And the reason I say this is it's very hard in a huge repository to catch up to everything, right? So as an example, OpenCV has a DNN module, right? Now, if I'm working on, let's say, a whole mat, which is like basically a data structure within OpenCV, right? I'm working on this. I will not necessarily be aware, okay, what are we pushing on DNN front, right? So it's very important that you read through the release notes, you understand what everyone is doing, you kind of catch up to it as well. And when you go forward, I mean, on a go forward basis, it's going to help you a ton when you start reviewing code. You will be seeing like you will start having comments like, okay, we already pushed something like this in the last release. I read through the release notes. Maybe you could reuse that. Maybe you could continue working on something XYZ, right? So in my opinion, it's always going to help you a ton if you start looking at release notes, start reading through release notes as well. So I mean that's what we are going to do now. The reason I did not like maybe first of all I can start with what repos like okay, just a minute. Hey, hi, Freedom. Okay, Freedom. Hi, what OS are you using? Uh, I mean, if it matters, I am on a very custom OS. I think I would like to show it to you instead of talk about it. So there you go. So I'm on Cache OS, by the way. It's came up like they have many customizations depending on your architecture, depending on your uh, system, and they have many schedulers that you could try on. So it's worth trying if you'd want to. Performance first, Linux built on Arc. So yeah, I mean it's essentially Arc with graphics platform as well, and I think I'm using KDE. Is what would matter over here, I think. Yeah. All right, but yeah, I mean, hey, thank you for joining. I think it's your first time, so welcome. So we were just discussing, right? Like, what stopped. Okay, yeah, I was going through this OpenCV contrib, right? So when you go to this repository, you will see some commits from me, and you will also see some, yeah, there you go, right? So, I mean, this is again, let me just be very honest here. This was um, so Tom Clunett, he was someone I was working with on this particular thing. He's an amazing person. We worked together on this, right? And like overall like 1,000 lines of code. 10,000 is mostly because of the this thing. Yeah, this particular thing. So you can leave out 9,424 lines of code here. This is not relevant, but yeah, I mean around 1,200 lines of code were written by me and Tom, right? So when we were writing, when we were writing this code, it was very important for us to, like catch up to all the things that were doing. I mean that were being done as a post, as a follow-up. For example, mm, I can actually go here, search for my name, KR Shrimali. Yeah. So as an example, people have so this is more about like someone had raised issues regarding the BRISC's MC and MSc algorithm, right? And unfortunately, like I could not really catch up to it, right? Like I didn't have time at that time. I was not like I was having a full-time job. It was very hard for me to get back. So it's very interesting that you know they all discuss about, okay, the formula is incorrect in the original paper, and we had, of course, when you implement the solution, you have to retrain the model as well. So it's not as easy as it sounds that, okay, just change the formula. And Tom was very kind. 5 years down the line, it's very interesting that they finally got the time to get back on those things. So yeah, I mean, it's all of those are very interesting things. If you had to use only one AI, what would it be? Yeah, I would possibly stick with, I mean, with respect to any agentic harnesses that exist right now, I would use Claude. And if I had to use something on the, chat interface, I would stick to ChatGPT. Yeah. All right. But I mean, if you will start looking at these things, right? Like these are very interesting things. Yeah. So I mean, the original author was already CCing us to check back on this, but it's kind of unfortunate that we did not have chance to, get back on those things. So one thing I've learned is like, okay, possibly we should, spend more time doing all these things, and it would be interesting to start doing it. I see that he has stopped contributing to OpenCV though. No, he has archived his repositories and he's no more active. Not sure why, but okay. Yeah. I admire these guys a lot, for reference. Like I think these people are amazing. But yeah, okay. So I mean that's the whole point, that you should possibly start having more follow-ups, start having, more learnings into these things as well. So don't just write code, read the module as well, try to understand. uh, Since Vision LLM has so much capability, is OpenCV less important? No, of course not. I mean, see, OpenCV has evolved, right? Like, I mean, any step in anything that you start deploying in real time, it's very important to have image processing as one of the steps, right? Vision LLM is not going to do everything. Internally, it will also expect the image to be of higher quality, to be, let's say that it should have enough features for it to, understand. So. Um, it is more like, are LLMs ready for a stupid prompt? No. Are vision LLMs ready for a stupid image? No. You need to process image for it to be ready to be able to pass to, I mean, so that it's when it's passed to the vision LLM to understand something, it is. And please understand, like with vision LLM, there's a cost. With OpenCV, these kind of mathematical modules, calculations, or any inferring on a trained model, it's comparatively cheaper than what you see uh, over there, right? So, I mean, I can possibly go through the release notes they had. They're very interesting, by the way. You should, I would, as I mentioned, like everyone should look at the release notes as well. Oh, okay, we need to do this. Okay, Yeah. Anyways, I think can I share a code and get your feedback if I should use OpenCV? You can join our Discord channel, Freedom. We do discuss a lot of things there, so I think we can talk there. I can share the Discord link with you. Just one second. So if you would like to join our Discord, you can this invite link. Okay, there's exclamation Discord. I don't know yeah if it works. But this invite link will expire in 30 days, so please use this uh, within 30 days to join the channel. There's hope that still works. I don't know, bro. But anyways, so let's start Discord. Thanks for the offer. No issues. No issues. It's not. I mean, you don't. You know, if you don't want to join, you should not. I mean, I'm all good. Um, Cool. But anyways, the thing is we should start with the building steps, right? Let me get rid of this particular background so that we can now focus on this. Right. All right. So, the very first thing that you should do is when you start contributing is try to build a project, right? So what I've done is I've already run the CMake. Yeah, I mean, yes, I think Nihal mentioned that, right? It's up to you, Freedom, where you want to join. Of course, none of us will force you. Uh, we should not, of course, and we cannot. But yeah. So what I'm doing over here is I'm trying to build all the modules that we have, and right, and you can always decide whether to build a particular project or not. I mean, sorry, a module or not. But let me go back and build, delete this again. So what we will do is, I think, yeah, there you go, right? So this is a CMake command, which is essentially like figuring out, um, which one, like which is the Python executable I'm targeting, what's the install path we have. So to start with, nowadays pip install does not work on a system level package unless until you pass a flag. So I would rather, so I have created a virtual environment specifically for our testing on OpenCV. So what we can do is OpenCV and we activate dot fish. Right now, what I can do is possibly instead of doing it here and open readme here, okay, or yeah, this is better. Just one second, guys. I don't, yeah, this should be better now. On the right, what we will try to do is we will run CMake, right, which will customize everything according to our need. But let me now, if I do which Python 3, okay, I think my face might be coming in between. Right, so if you see which Python 3 already gives me the right Python path, right, and let's just check the version as well. It's 3.14.5. It's quite latest. I would say there's one struggle here that I don't know if everything works in 3.14 yet, but we will try. I hope it works. It should ideally, unless until there are some workarounds. Yeah, so there's one thing that I've done wrong is OpenCV install path should not be your USR lib64 because now you have a virtual environment, so you should replace that with this one. So which Python 3 is this? So what I'm going to do is I am going to, is there no set cmake sb build? On this one, what I can do is I can get rid of this one and do OpenCV and lib64 Python. Yeah, there you go, right? So this is what we need. Which Python 3 is fine here, or actually, you know what? I would try to hard code this one just for the sake of me being sure that it passes the right path. Yeah, it broke some stuff, right? I'm not sure if it will break again. Let's try it out. I would be very curious if 3.14 works or not, right? So it's very important to sometimes, read through this as well. Found Python libs, USR lib Python 3.14. It already found the Python lib, found Python interpreter, found suitable version 3.14.5, minimum required is 3.2. I have a quick question. Since anyone can contribute to open source projects, can a large number of PRs from different contributors cause genuine or valuable PRs to be missed or delayed? How do maintainers typically manage this? I mean, thanks for the question here. It does happen, and that's where I think some people have, like reviewers do give importance to a PR that is linked to an issue which has more importance. So, this comes in under the triaging stuff. Every organization in general has, some people who are on a cycle of triaging. What triaging generally means is they internally decide whether we should, review this week, whether they should go into this release or not. So it's a release planning that they should generally do. And it's possible that some valuable PRs are missed, and that's where I think PR authors also have to continue pinging the maintainers whenever needed that, hey, this is missed, is this required? And most of the times, yeah, I mean that's something that's happened, of course, but it's generally on the yeah, PR, I mean maintainers, for example, on how they manage the load. Personally, I've seen that what they do is they do a lot of triaging. They ensure that okay, things are according to what you want in that particular release, and they imagine that okay, in the next 1 month, where is this whole repository going forward with? So you have to be aware when I think freedom. The question was slightly different of Phantom, but yeah, I mean yes. What he is asking is if you have 100 PRs, does it happen that okay, three good PRs were missed because there are 100 PRs to review? Now, for maintainers, it's of course going to be difficult to figure out, what are the three good PRs from, or like genuine PR authors or something of that sort, right? So it's most of the times, given all the rush that's happening, it's most of the times up to the maintainers on how do they figure out the load and all. But yeah, fair enough. Okay, so what we have done, by the way, is we have configured our repository, and now what it's trying to do is building all the modules, right? As you can see, I think all of us are aware that these .object files, right, in the C++ compiler stage, right, these are being generated for all the compilable files and modules, right? And you will start seeing right now it's slower than what I had wanted because what you could do is when you do make, look on the left terminal, you could do nproc equal to 12, and I have around 24. So the problem there is that there is no nproc. Okay. Thank you both. nahi yaar, no issues. So hyphen J should be there. It's to paralyze whatever you're doing. Yeah, there you go, right? Specify the number of jobs to run simultaneously. If there's more than one hyphen J option, the last one is effective, right? So there, this is what you do. This is when you mention that, okay, I want it across some CPU cores, if I'm not wrong. So let me do this. Print the number of processing units available, right? So number of processing units I have is 24. If I would be using 12, I am not sure, given the OBS is going on, it might hang and it might crash. So that's why default would be 1, I think, right? So that's how it's doing right now. Uh, uh, so I will be very curious how many processing units are available for me to use if this is something that there was a I can start this. Okay, there's a new full screen render. Okay. Uh, how do I check how many processing units are available in my machine right now? Right. So I think this will tell me that, okay, how do I like use my machine to the fullest? nproc is the most common quick check useful when setting hyphen j. No, this is not what I want, right? So it ran a shell command into nproc all total logical CPUs on the system. Then same but from ls CPU. Okay, it just checked for how many processors I have. Claude has full access to your machine. I don't think so. Like I haven't. I mean, it will ask me yes or no for a read access, but yeah, it can run shell commands. So that's totally fine. I think I want to know how many are occupied and how many are free. If occupied, which process is occupying it? So I know that you could do htop. I do have it installed. So as in like this compiler CC1 plus this Kevin Wayland OBS for example. So if we look at 17% CPU is going there. So now what is doing is mp stat hyphen p all. mp stat is installed? No, right? Yeah, I don't think it will work. Yeah, so it's now doing pseo hyphen eo pid. Okay, so I think it's trying to run some shell commands. If it says yes, you can set in cloud settings so it cannot run. No, I think I'm all good. Yeah, I mean, I'm careful about these things, but should be fine. So what it did was C++ compiler is using CPU core 6, 22 is being used by Brave, OBS Studio Claude is using my 11%, this is 98.6% of this particular core, right? It's not the total whole CPU usage because this will not add up to 100. The dominant load right now is CC1, that's the C++ compiler backend, almost certainly from the OpenCV build. It's having CPU 6 at 98.6%. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not 7, actually 6 because this is being reused here. Okay, sounds good. So what this means is that we have around 18 cores which command you ran. So let's see. Let's ask it which command. Okay. So this it ran a psutil CPU percent per CPU equal to true interval equal to 1. Yeah, I might actually I use a container to run LLM agents so that VM machine gets run by LLM. I can always reset and restore. Yeah, I mean people do that. Honestly speaking, it depends on the work that you are doing. For me, it's most of the times fine. CPU percent interval equal to 1, 8.0. Wait a minute. So this is a usage as well. For I comma usage in enumerate CPUs. Okay, that's separate, right? So if usage is greater than 5, that's the one that's okay. It's more than 5%, is it? Yeah, I would rather use this for now. Yeah, there you go, right? So this is a PID. So this is, I mean, deciding the columns that you want to see, which command that is running, PSR. Okay, this is the CPU core. I mean, sorry, CPU processor number, right? The core is the CPU core the process last ran on. Okay, yeah, percent CPU. Okay, there you go, right? So I think this does give me enough headroom. So overall, this is how it would look like. But you could do, yeah. So you're looking at anything that is greater than 0, right? And then you are basically, so I think this one looks at the last column. I've had LLM inject security flaw into my code on purpose many times from input poisoning over years. Small data points over the internet will lead to cause. Okay, yeah, could be. Print the first record, which is the header row. Okay, nr equal to 1 is the. Okay, so this one. Um, yeah, okay, percent CPU print any line where the fourth field is greater than 0. Okay, sounds good. So it is like, okay, sounds good. So nr equal to 1 is like the very first header. And then you do $4. That means, okay, pick up the $4th one, which is the percent CPU column. And anywhere it's greater than 0. So if I would do greater than 5, I should have only those which are greater than 5, right? I'm not sure. Yes. Okay, we will read through it. Just give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it did not work. While the build is running, guys, that's why I'm doing this. So I will ask Claude quickly that, okay, what went wrong? String comparison. Oh, so it does a string comparison. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, no, wait a minute. I am not sure what's happening here. Why is it returning these? Anyways, I think what we can now do is we can at least utilize more cores. Otherwise, this will take a lot of time of us as well, and we don't want to do that. So, I mean, if okay, what I can possibly do is okay, okay, it could be that okay, I'm not very sure about this, but okay, sounds good. Okay, I will call it system so that next time I come back we can talk about it. Okay, one of the most interesting things about LLMs I found, I built a reverse geocoder using LLMs and someone made a fake geocoding dataset and placed online August. Okay, then Claude GPT etc. ingested this poison and caused my geocoder that was hooked up to a safety emulation system to fail because the data input poison caused my LLM geocoder to be off at any percent. Ash, okay, that's bad. Yeah, yeah, I feel for you. It's all very tricky. Like but anyways, I think what I can do is I can utilize 8 at least. Now you will suddenly see it will start being faster than what it was before, and uh, I hope stream doesn't lag. ठीक है. Okay, while this, okay, yeah, it's already lagging for me. Yeah, I will let this finish first, then we can come to it. Working fine. अच्छा चल रहा है. Okay, okay. Yeah, the thing is like my new Vim was okay. At least right now I see. Yeah, it's slightly. Okay, yeah, we will let it finish first, everyone, and then we can resume. Yeah, almost there, guys. See, I mean, that's where, like, in knowing about all the commands help a, helps a ton, right? Because you're saving time and you're using your CPU to the extent where you should. There's no point having, okay, my Brave is already lagging, guys. My browser has started lagging, so that's a good point. It's a very interesting red team attack. I was bugging out thinking my machines were hacked, etc., but wasn't. It was the remote models themselves and then being non-static. I was using GPT-4o. I mean, thanks for sharing the experience. I think everyone should be careful for sure. And running in containers, I think that's what like sandboxes and all have come up, right? Where you don't end up wasting all these things. Okay, yeah, I will let this finish. Everything is lagging right now. Okay, almost done. I think it's time to build the targets and all. So once this is done, what we'll have to do is, okay, yeah. So it has built the target, right? If you see now, you will see all the .so files, which are the library files like static and dynamic. Not sure if there are any dynamic files. Slip Python 3. Yep. So what you could do is essentially you could do sudo make install, or you could do make install. What this will do is it will like copy all the libraries that it has built into, sorry, so it will copy all the files to your specific library path. Okay, yeah, it doesn't need to. Why should it have? Right, just 1 second. I am not sure. What did I run here? Yes, so why does it need to install into CV2? Critical like using LLM for filters, etc. I learned it's key to use static local hosted models and always verify this SHA-25. Also, we use post quantum hash for this now. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, good idea though. Yeah, even when you install a Linux distribution, you download a ISO file. Generally, the recommended way is to always check whether the downloaded file is as per your expectations. There's already CV2, so why is it asking? Ah, okay, my bad. Okay, so the reason it's not working is I will possibly, so I passed a relative path and that's where it's failing. So what we could do is we could do, yeah, I think, can I just, I'm sorry about this, guys. That's where always use a, yeah, so this is a problem now. I hope it works now. Yeah, I mean, yes, building from source is one of the best experiences you will ever have because you end up learning so much. Okay, yeah, okay, no, that's okay. It just needs sudo. I thought it will be fine. So whenever you rebuild CMake, I think one thing that we should do is not have, oh, ta-da. Yeah, there you go, right? So it has done everything. Now, if I do this, import CV2, it will work. I have a project where I build from source a C++ Python paper and it will randomly run out of time and go on my clause. Yeah, it's a good experience, right? Like, but anyways, like, do see that it's working. Seriously? Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's important to have cheaper things around. Does IPython exist? Okay, no, that's okay. So there was one thing I was doing. I'm not sure if they have any sample data, ls data. Do they have any sample files? Mm, yeah, so they should have some test data here, which should have, yeah, there you go, right? So there are some sample files we could use like baboon.jpg file, and we could go back, okay, we could read this baboon.jpg, right? So there you go, right? This will print something for me. Yep. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit something in the code itself. Guys, are you ready? Is everyone ready? Say yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, yes, thank you. Thank you. Who's that girl? Who's that girl? Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. Uh, so I was just trying. to put a printf statement. Actually, I had already done that. I'm just surprised it did not print something for me. So read an image into memory and return the information. So essentially, I always wanted, so no matter what you pass, let's say if we end up calling this as, yeah, so I am just experimenting this that okay, if we change something in the source code, right, and yeah, the good old OpenCV days, yes, freedom ready, nice, thank you. 256 cross 256. Just 1 second. All right, so let's try to build this. Mohit must be remembering all the times we have had in this. Dekha, it failed. That's the good part. Ah, okay, I can't really. I'm stupid. Don't say yes, guys. Okay, these things you should not say yes to. Right, so I am. So we were at which file? I can possibly look at git diff. We were in load save.cpp, right? So the problem this is having is that you cannot really pinpoint something to, let's say what I would do is, because this is a const, right? And you can't really change a const. It was a very obvious mistake. So I can do is file name 2. Right now what I can do is I can also print this. Okay. I don't know if my this should have been ideally caught by my, yeah. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use file name 2, but the problem is, yeah, this should work. So I am just trying to change a few things here, everyone. And this is the very first step I do. Choose the very basic operation that you have used in that particular library. For PyTorch, it could be just a simple tensor creation, right? And then try to understand how it works, right? So ideally, make G and PROC probably 4 would, okay. Oh, sorry, Endel, it has a, it needs a namespace. There you go, right? So it is now working. That means the build is working fine. Now what we need to do is sudo make install. I did not need sudo to be honest, right? And okay. So if I do import cv2, cv2 dot im read, yeah, there you go. Right, so what it does, like now what it enables you to do is you can debug further, right? Like I don't mean to say whatever I've done is something amazing out of the box, right? But I think this printf was not working because it needs to see out. Now I understand. Yeah, right, so what you can do is make again and make install once this is done, right? Given that I have now done sudo once, I think it's time to pick up. Yep, there you go. So import CV2, ta ta ta, there you go, right? Okay. Not sure why this is not being called. Is there any other function that's, I am not sure. Maybe it lacks IO stream to here. I'm not sure. I still remember import I'm read and I'm sure. Nice, 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 nice. Like all this is very, why does it not show? Oh, then I need to do exit key and all. Yeah, it will not work here, I think. I was watching a computer club using OpenCV to race autonomous car last night. Was very cool. My little fella car was just doing burnout zone. Maybe they ever said. Yeah, I mean OpenCV is interesting. It's a very old library, 2003 or something. I'm not sure. Super, super folks. Miss them a lot. I think they're not contributing anymore. So yeah. But anyways, I think we can pause here. I'm gonna pause my recording.